Hey guys, Luis Osorio, the West Coast Ballers, coming at you with something a little different today. We're going to be doing a video today, so this is going to be the first time we're going to be doing an interview one-on-one on camera. And I decided to bring on today's guest, and that's Ricky Jimenez. He's one of my teammates at Antelope Valley College. He's the right-handed pitcher. He's in his sophomore season, so he's getting ready to transfer out. So I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself.
What's up, guys? I'm Ricky Jimenez. It's a pleasure to be on here with the West Coast Ballers. It's been a minute, and it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, man. We've been saying that we're gonna do this interview for a very long time, and we've been kind of slacking. Well, mainly me, honestly, if I'm being honest, because every time at practice and at games, he goes up to me, he's like, "Bro, when are we doing the interview?"
Always.
So it's on my part, but we're finally doing this, and I'm excited to get into it. So, first question I usually begin my guests with is, where'd your baseball journey begin?
My baseball journey began when I was 10 years old. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And my dad, he actually, he was really, really pushing me to play football, right? So I was, I tried it out. I played flag football, and then I ended up going to tackle, right? And I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all. Mm-hmm. And this is something, I was like, I don't want to do this. And
right.
So I quit, and it was really hard for my dad because he loves football, right? And that's what he wanted me to do. But so I quit, and I said it's not for me. So I just kind of didn't play anything, right? So.
Right.
And one day I was just at home, and he calls me up, and he's like, "Hey, Rick," he's like, "You're just not gonna sit at home and do nothing." So he's like, "You're gonna have to pick something. You're gonna have to pick a sport." And so I was like, "You know what?" He's like, "Just try baseball. How about that? Just go and play baseball."
Right.
And I was like, "I've never played it before. I'm not good. This.
Right.
I don't know anything about baseball." Mm-hmm. And so he's like, "Well, you know what?" He's like, "You're gonna have to start somewhere." Mm-hmm. And so he told me, "I'm gonna sign you up for Cortez Little League, and that's all there's to it." So I was like, "You know what? All right, you know what? I could do this." Mm-hmm. And so that's where it really began, and since I was 10 years old, and learning the fundamentals on how to play, and just bettering myself, and so that's how it really started, and one thing just led to another, and I'm here now. So that's where.
That's cool. That's interesting. So you only ever played flag football before you got into baseball?
Yeah, I only ever played flag football, and so because I really enjoyed football. I loved watching it, but when it came to the next level of tackling, it wasn't for me. I didn't want to get involved in all that physical stuff. I didn't enjoy it at all. Yeah, so
that makes sense. I mean, those guys are getting hit hard.
Exactly, and it's actually I actually, don't regret not playing, because, of all the concussions, all that stuff. So
that's true. It's a tough sport.
It is a tough sport.
So after that, you didn't get into any other sports after, because you said you got into baseball at 10, right? And that's where it all started. Yeah. And you said, one thing led to another, and it got to where you're at now. Mm-hmm. But along the way, did you try to pick up any other sports, or?
No, actually, I would play sport like basketball, just on the side though. It was nothing serious. Oh yeah,
it was like LCP, bro.
Like LCP, exactly.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But yeah. So there was nothing that I really played. Besides baseball. It was just something I really caught on to it and how to actually play the game, and it was something I really enjoyed because I just felt like I was really good at it. So I just stayed with it and continued to play it, and
Right. So what I wanted to ask you after that, what positions did you start playing first? Because not everyone starts out at PO, right?
Yeah. I actually started off as a first baseman, because when I started out, I was 10 years old, and I was probably the biggest kid on my team, So I started off as a first baseman, and because I wasn't fast, I wasn't mobile, so I just put me at first base. So that's where I really started my career as a first baseman, and then it just progressively started to play the outfield, and as I got older, I started to play the outfield, and so I really enjoy the outfield more than I do the infield, because making a play in the outfield I think is just amazing, like
yeah, true, like a diving play,
like exactly, throwing runners out at home.
Oh, that's even better. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, so I feel like I really enjoyed the outfield more than I did the infield. Yeah.
I feel you on that. So so you went from 10 years old, you were playing ball, right? Did you play travel ball along the way? What led you into high school and stuff like that?
Honestly, I did a little bit of travel ball, a little bit, but I wasn't like super like consistent with it. I'd be like, I'd play with the team, and then I don't really like traveling a lot, and so like I just, when I wasn't doing that travel ball, I would work on the side just by myself, with my dad and my mom, and they would help me out a lot, and so yeah, I would just play with in-season teams, basically, I guess you could say, like, so I wasn't really like a travel ball guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where'd you end up going to high school to go play ball?
I ended up going to Berkeley High School.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where I went to go play.
And is that where you became a PO, or?
Initially, yeah, in a way, because I played the infield and the outfield, like I said, and but I don't know, like when everybody, they were like, oh, maybe you should go try pitching. You have a really good arm, and so I was like, you know what, I'll do it. Like I'll do it. So, and then that's something like I really started to enjoy. Like I was like, wow, like this is cool. Like you control the game. You so that's when my senior year actually ended up being basically like a PO, because that's what I just enjoyed to do, and I felt like that's where I really excelled at, because my bat wasn't all that, so
I feel you.
But so that's what I feel like I really excelled at, and that's where I wanted to I feel like continue doing with my career, and just focusing on being a pitcher.
Gotcha. So what would you say is like some of the things that you learned from your high school experience?
To never give up, like when you're down, and people put you down, and know that you're probably when they tell you you're not good enough, or you can't do this, you can't do that, just I feel like just don't listen to them, because it made me the person I am today, because if I were to listen to all those doubters and all the people saying, he can't really do this, he can't really do that, I feel like, you wouldn't have kept playing baseball. I wouldn't have kept playing baseball, right? Because I feel like my senior year, I feel like I really felt that, like deep in here, I was like, wow, like, I was like, do I really want to continue this? Like, do I really want to, like, play this? Like, like, because I felt like I wasn't good enough, but. Coming to AVC, they really have these I guess they saw something, and and deep inside me, I was like, wow, like somebody out there like sees something, and it makes me want to continue, playing baseball. So that's where that really came in. So
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, doubts really do start to creep in sometimes, especially if you're playing for a really good program like you were. You were playing for Paraclete, which is. Yeah. I didn't know anything about before I got out here, but now that I've met people out here and stuff like that, I heard pretty good program. So
it's really good program.
Like people have compared it the equivalent to like the Bishop Gorman back in Vegas, where I'm from, saying private school, right? It's a private school.
Yeah.
Private school is pretty that excels at sports and stuff like that. So it's not easy to go through there, and then how do I say this? You just go through there and. You have limited opportunities because there's a lot of other guys you're competing with.
Exactly.
That was
a tough part, but I feel like competing with those guys just made me like a better ball player, because I was like, wow, like this is what I got to do to beat this guy out, or so it was really tough. It was a great program, tough competition, and I feel like that's this makes anybody better. Good competition makes anybody better. So that's
exactly. It either makes you or breaks you.
Exactly.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
So going off of that, you said you ended up coming out here to AVC.
Yes.
And was that like your only offer, or like
it was
the only place you had a chance to go to?
Yeah, it was the only place that I could continue my baseball career. Because I didn't play a lot in high school, so nobody was really looking at me. So. But yeah, so the coach, his name's Coach Sweeney. He's not there no more, but he was there when I first got there, and he just basically came up to me and said, "Hey, like, we really, we really like you, like we really want you to come over here and play for us, And so that was like really eye opening, That was something like, I was like, who's this guy like coming up to me, like me, like you sure you got the right guy, type of thing,
right.
And then so yeah, it was just so eye opening, and I was like, wow, like this guy really wants me to basically continue my baseball career and go play for ABC and compete and help their team win, so that was really eye opening for me. So I mean, I don't regret it. It's been an amazing experience for me. So
right, I got you.
Yeah.
So what I know and other teammates on the team may know is that it's been a long journey for you being here at ABC.
Oh yeah, it's been a really, really long journey.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you is like to break it down. What exactly happened? What exactly transpired through? How many years have you been?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, academically 4 though. So.
Okay. So
yeah.
what kind of transpired, or what led you to being out here for so long?
Okay. So when I first got here, I graduated in 16. And I was 17. And when I graduated, then I turned 18 in October. So I graduated in 16, and when I was going through the process of trying out, being on the team, this is a whole different level, and so when I was out there all the time, that these guys were just, just good, like even better than my high schools, so I was like, dang, this is legit, like this is the real deal. And so so I felt like inside, like personally, I felt like I wasn't ready. Like I was like, wow, like yeah, like so like that self-doubt, like I self-doubted myself. So I was like, you know what, I'm not ready. Like feeling like because I didn't play enough, like a lot of high school, I felt like that really brought me down, and I was like, I can't compete with these guys, I can't compete. So I took the decision to gray shirt. So I gray shirted. So it's basically like a red shirt, but it's
you take below 12 units, right?
We take below 12 units. So you have to. I think
you're
it's like
part time.
Basically, it's like 9 units. So I took that decision. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna gray shirt, take a year under my belt. Know what this whole because the jump from high school to college is like different. It's crazy fast. It's better hitters, better pitchers, just everything. The whole game, just in general, is changes. So I was like, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna really, soak it all in and see what this game is really about at the next level. So and along the way, I met some. I had these 2 other redshirt freshmen that did it, and Austin Gravitt and Andrew Elliott. Like I really they had done it a year prior to me, but they had redshirted the year I got there. So they knew what the game was all about, and I feel like they really taught me like what the game's all about at the next level, So I really appreciated that, and, became really great friends with them, and that's something I endear a lot. And so, but yeah, so I took that year off, and then I felt like I was ready my second year, right? So I was ready. And in 18, I was ready to go, play the game I love, and, at the next level, and I was really excited. And we didn't have a lot of pitching, right? We didn't have a lot of pitching. There was probably like only 4 or 5 of us, pitchers like on the team. So, the pitching was,
very limited,
not deep at all. So, so I ended up being a starter, right? So I ended up being a starter, and I had my first start. Got the win. It was such a great feeling. I was like, wow, like this is awesome. Like this is so dope. Like, so anyways, the following week, I came in for a bullpen. Like kind of like a bullpen work kind of game. So
like live at bats,
like in game, like against another team. So it was like
scrimmage. Like a scrimmage?
No. It was a
Like an actual game.
A road
Actual
game.
game.
A road
Oh,
game.
okay. Okay.
So I had my start the week prior.
Uh-huh.
So then I came in for like my bullpen work, to get me ready for my next start, right? And it was life changing. It was really life changing. So I came in, and it was the 8th inning, and I had, I think, about like 1 out. So I was really working the guy, and I remember I threw a changeup, and their field is exactly like ours, turf, right? So the ball's gonna really bounce up in the air if you
What field is this at?
LA Valley.
Oh, LA Valley.
So I threw a changeup, and the guy just basically chops at it, right? And the ball goes up in the air. So I want to make a play on it, right? So I'm backing up, and when I went, like a mound has that lump, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I know what you're talking about.
this one was higher than normal. So when I was running back on it, I jumped off the top of the mound, and I got the ball, and I came down, and then all my weight just came down on my left knee. And it was probably the worst pain I have ever felt in my life. Like, it hurt so bad, to the point where, like, I couldn't even walk on it. Like, that's how bad it was. So just my whole mind was like, what the hell? Like, why? Like, why now? Like,
why did this happen?
Like, why did this happen to me? Like, I've never had an injury prior. It was just something, like, I was just like, wow, like things, your life can, like, baseball career, could change in a second. Like, no matter what. And so I got back, to the college, and I went to go see the trainer, and he helped me out, and then I ended up going to the doctors, seeing what they would say, and the doctor basically said, like, it's an LCL sprain, and there's it varies for everybody, like the injury, like timetable recovery varies for everybody, so there's really no set timetable. And so I was like, well, like, what the hell, like, I'm in season right now, like like, don't tell me that, like, tell me, like, it's gonna be this long, like, so I can get myself ready again and go back out there, compete with my teammates, But yeah, so I go back to the trainer, and he basically said, you know what, we're gonna get you right, bro. We're gonna get you right. So I went back over there and worked out, working out, and I really, and then, working out with him for a month straight, right? Rehabbing, basically. I really got to know him. And I really got to know the trainer, and
That Tim?
Tim, yeah, Tim. So I really got to know him, and, we just became, like, cool with each other, and basically talking about life, and, how to overcome, basically, forks in the road, and, just
Adversity,
exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, so
I get you.
So, he really helped me through a lot.
Okay.
He really helped me through a lot. So, I remember after I was done rehabbing with him, I was like, all right, I feel good. My knee feels great. So, I went out, threw a bullpen, felt good, no problems. And so, so then, I felt like, I was ready. I felt like I was ready, So I come back, right? I come back, active.
Same season.
Same season. I come back a month later, and my first game back, they put me on the mound, and it was actually against Citrus, the team we played.
Oh, yesterday.
And so we ended up playing against them, and I came in, and this guy, he bunted it down the line, right? Because to get the guy home from third, right? So he bunts it down the line. And I go and get it. I start running, running, and then I chop my feet, and then my leg just got caught in the turf. So when I went to turn, my knee just kind of stayed in place, and then I felt a pop, and it was worse
than the
first pain that I had, and it was man, I started running off the field, and I just dropped to, like, my whole body just dropped on the field, and I was like, oh my God. And at this point, like, I'm, like, hurting so bad that like I started like getting emotional because I'm like, why me? Like, why now? Like, why? Like, what did I do? Like, what did I do to deserve this? You know,
Definitely.
You know, like I'm done nothing but respect the game. You know, so I was just like, what did I do to deserve this? So, you know, I was just always questioning why. But yeah, so I ended up, going to check it out again and getting my MRI, and they ended up telling me, yeah, you tore your ACL. So I was like, what? I was like, I tore my ACL? Like that's something I hear like big sports athlete happen to, you know?
Right.
Like it's not something that like
it doesn't happen to a regular person.
Regular person, you know? So I was just like,
well, you weren't a regular person. I mean, you were an athlete.
But like that's just something like you don't hear a lot in baseball, you know? Like, oh, this guy tore his ACL. It's like, how? You know, like, but so yeah, I ended up tearing my ACL, and the process was, it was very life changing. It was life changing. Like when I tell you that, I really mean that. It was life changing.
Why do you say that?
Because I say that because it made me a better person, and it made me appreciate more of, made me appreciate more about life, and getting your body right, basically recovering, because at the end of the day, you need to take care of your body, and and all the downs that come with it, so especially this being a pretty big injury, tearing your ACL,
right. For sure.
So I went through the whole process, and it took me 2 months to get into the surgery room because of all the process, paperwork, all, it took forever. So I tore it in March, and I didn't have it till May. So I didn't have my surgery till May.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually, we're coming up on, it happened March 8th, so it'll be March 5th? So 3 more days, it'll be 2
years, officially 2 years since that injury happened.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it took me 2 months to finally get my surgery. And
how long did the rehab take?
The rehab was about 7 months, 7.5 months.
Wow.
But when I tell you it was the greatest experience of my life,
really,
it was like I said, it was eye opening.
Right, because you said you learned a lot about taking care of your body and stuff like that.
Exactly, and it was possibly, I want to say, like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
Okay.
Because I really figured out, what I wanted to do with my life. Because when I first got here, I was like, how they ask you, like, oh, what's your major? It's like, at first it was psychology. I was like, you know what, psychology, only because my friends were doing it. So I just felt like I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted.
Right.
So I was like, my friends are doing psychology, so I'll do psychology.
Right.
So I was like, I didn't know what I wanted. So I ended up taking classes, and I was like, this is boring. Like, like I don't like it. Like I'm not interested in this. So when I was taking psychology up until my injury and stuff. So when it came again to do your ed plan again, I was like, you know what, change it to kinesiology, because the process I had to go through physically and mentally was second to none. Like, it was the most, like, I guess you could say, like, tiring. It tires you mentally, physically, everything. It just, makes you work hard to
make sure that doesn't happen again.
To make sure it doesn't happen again, and just to better your body. Because recovering from the ACL isn't just, oh, I'm gonna work on just that leg. It's not just working.
You gotta build everything up.
You gotta build up your whole leg again. And then when I finally got out of the,
learn how to walk on it again, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So when I got out of surgery, funny story. When I got out of surgery, I got in the car. So I got in the car, and then so I had to have my leg elevated right on the back seat, and then so my leg wasn't all the way in, And so my dad, he closes the door and it boom, hits me right on the leg. And I was like, bro, you're so lucky I did not feel nothing, because I would have been crying right now. You know,
He just closed the door.
yeah, because my foot was like kind of like out a little bit, and then like he just closed it, right? It's like boom, and he's like, oh my God, Rick, I'm so sorry, bro. You know, and I was like, bro, like I was like, you're so lucky.
My leg is numb. So
yeah,
you can't even
I was like,
feel
you're
it.
so lucky. My leg is numb, and I did not feel nothing. But imagine, oh man, like,
That'd have been such bad
yeah, that would have
pain
been
if you
bad.
couldn't
That would have
feel it.
been really bad. So, but yeah. So anyways, so yeah, I finally got home and got on my bed, and you know, like this is where like the mental part comes in. It was so I got on my bed, and I was in bed for 3 straight days. Like that's something you're not really supposed to do, because they want you to get up and walk on it, you know, basically start the rehab right as you know get home, basically, you know, start walking on it. But that was something like I was scared of, because I was like, no, like I'm gonna hurt it again,
Like a mental block.
like a mental block, exactly. Like, oh, if you're walking in, Rick, you're gonna tear it right now, and it's gonna be really, really bad, you know. Like, so that's where the mental part came in. So I was in bed for 3 days, and to the point where like my parents were like, you gotta get up, like you have to get up, like, and you know. So I was like, I don't want to get up because it hurts so bad, like it hurts. And so they're like, you have to, like. So it became that point where like, you know what, like if I want to start, you know, if I want to play again, this is where it all starts. Getting up out this bed and, you know, walking. That's where it all starts, you know. So after 3 days, I finally got up and, you know, started walking around a little bit, and you know, obviously I was scared, you know, because I basically had to learn how to walk again, almost in a way, because you know, there's a new tendon in there, and you know, it's new, and you know, it's
You gotta build the
muscles around it, and it's. So I was like, wow, this is the first steps to getting back to where I want to be, you know, on that mound again, and playing the game I love. So, but yeah, so the whole process was just amazing. And
did you have to go to, so when you had the surgery, after that, like, you know, a month or so after that, did you have to go to physical therapy or?
Yeah, I didn't start physical therapy for like another 3 weeks, so about a month. And that the therapy was just like, at first was just like horrible, like they were moving your legs certain ways, you know, stretching it out, you know, doing a bunch of like weight with it, you know, all this type of stuff. And
it was all new stuff to you too.
Huh?
It was all new to you too.
It was obviously, yeah, because you know, like me, I wasn't really like a workout guy, you know. Like I mean, I would work out, but like I wouldn't work out
like consistently.
I was more of like a runner, you know. Like I'd want to keep my stamina up a lot because I'm a pitcher, you know. But you know, so I didn't really think about lifting weights a lot. So when I started like really being able to, you know, walk on my own without crutches, you know, then that's when I started to like really like, all right, like, you know, well, I haven't been exercising because my leg won't allow me to. So I was like, I gotta start doing a lot of upper body stuff, you know. So what I would do is I would lay on my back and basically with a medicine ball just do sit-ups, throw them against the wall, catch them, throw them against the wall, catch them. Basically, I wanted to keep my upper body,
Your core,
my core, like in shape, you know. Like, so that's what I would do. And but as when it progressed, my leg got a little bit better, progressed more. That's when I started to go with Tim at here, and so he worked me. So great, like his rehab process, the way he you know, walked me through stuff was just amazing. Like,
he knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff, exactly. He knows his stuff, and so it was a great experience. Like I said before, like when I had that 1 month, you know, rehab with him, I kind of got to know him, but like when I did it again, I actually had to go.
You were with him for several months.
7 months. Like I was with him for 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess
see every day. I mean, you guys would see each other daily, pretty much.
Daily, basically, yeah. We would see each other daily for treatment, rehab. So, this is a guy like I really got to know
even more,
because and it was such an amazing experience. And so but yeah, just like I said, like working through an injury like that like really makes you like, I'm trying to figure out the words, like it really like
makes you stronger
and there's like this is one word like I'm trying to figure out.
What does it have to do with?
They basically just like bettering yourself. Like I know I said that multiple times already, but I honestly feel like that's what it's all about, and it really made me be the person I am today because I didn't,
it was a tough obstacle to overcome.
Exactly, tough obstacle to overcome, and I there was days I'd cry, like I was like, because I didn't want to do this anymore. Like I was like, I don't like this is such a long process. I don't want to do this anymore. Like there were days like I'd cry, like I'd be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I just want to stop and do my life, like
and live a normal life.
I just want to live a normal life already. But then like my family was just so supportive, and they were like, no, Rick, like we know you could do this. Like we know you can. Like there's nothing that's gonna stop you, and we know the heart you have, and you're gonna, we want you to continue this because we know you love the game so much. And so basically my family and friends were really, really helpful through the whole process.
That's awesome. So, and I mean that's the kind of stuff that keeps you going. Exactly. That keeps you going, and when like you said, you have those dark days where you're doubting yourself.
Exactly.
Where you're just like, man, why am I doing this? Yeah. Why am I still doing this? Those days, those are when those are the days when you really need those people.
Yeah, exactly.
Get you out of that rut. So when were you able to finally be able to walk again on your two feet and everything like that?
I was like by myself. I was after like a month and a half. Like I was able to walk by myself, and that was like I was like, wow. Like I was like, well, I took walking for granted my whole life, but I was like, when I got to walk on it again, I was like, oh my god, like this is dope. Like I could walk on my own again. So that was a really great experience for me. I was like,
so what I want to ask you is like pretty much what was the whole progression? So you said a month and a half after that you were able to walk, and then after that, when were you able to run? When were you able to throw again? Stuff like that. Like
yeah. So after a month and a half, I was able to walk again. So and then after that, it's just like a slow, steady process of getting into running. So like I had to do bike workouts, really get my legs going again, because do a lot of balance drills, make sure I was able to balance on both legs, not just the hurt one, I was like, and so that was, and like about like I want to say 3.5 months, almost 4, I was able to run again, but just at a slow pace, just
like a jog,
like that. So I was like, that was really a big stepping stone for me, and I was like, wow, like I can run again, little by little, and so yeah, so it was about 4 months I was able to run again, and at about 5.5 months, that's when I was really, I guess pumping the iron, really getting my body,
getting some gains,
and really just developing my whole quad muscle. My quad muscle was just so skinny because of all the, the muscles were basically like dead. You
just never worked them out, so they weren't strong.
Yeah, and that had a lot to do with it too, because I never really worked out my quad muscles or hamstring, calf muscles,
any of that
exactly.
Stuff.
Yeah, so I wasn't really I didn't really work that out a lot. So, so like my quad was like a twig, like it was like skinny, and so basically I had to, you had
to build that muscle
I had
up.
to build it up again, because I had nothing. So And so that's when I started really lifting up the weights and, you know, getting my leg right and my body. And so, but yeah, so it was really a great deal, because I was like, wow, like, I've never done this before, you know, like consistently, you know.
Right.
I was like, oh, I really feel good, you know, like it makes you feel good, you know, because you're not only like
working out to get recovered, to get right, but you're also doing it for your personal health.
Personal health, exactly. That's what I took out of it, and I was like, wow, like this is what you have to do to go back into the sport you want to play at a high level again. And so that's where the kinesiology came into play, because I was always basically around, you know, Tim in his office, and I see him working on other athletes that have injuries, and you know, I was like, wow, like this is dope. Like this is really dope. Like I was like, the body's just like an amazing thing, you know, like it's just like, wow, like this is what you have to do to recover and go back into the sport you want to play at 100%.
Okay.
And so that's where I really took from it, and I was like, you know what, like I really want to do this. Like I want to better somebody like Tim bettered me, you know.
Right.
like that's what I want to do. I was like, I want to make somebody else feel good about themselves and know that they could, you know,
lean on you when if they need help.
Exactly, lean on me when they need help, or you know, just help them in general, you know, like just to basically help them in life and recovery, and you know, help them get back to what they want to do at a high level again, you know. So that's what I really took from the whole rehab process that I was going through. That's what I took out of it. I was like, wow, this is dope. 'Cause I was like, this guy's taking time, I mean, you know, one-on-one time with me to get me right, you know. And so I was like,
that shows that he cares.
Yeah, so like he really, really cared, you know. So I was like, wow, like this is really, really dope. So that's when I started studying kinesiology, and now taking an intro to kinesiology with you. So, but yeah, so it's dope.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. So what was it like, you know, when you were finally able to overcome all these things that you just talked about, to finally get on the mound again, to finally get on the field again to practice with your boys and all this stuff?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you how great of a feeling that was, because when I was out there, you know, just standing around watching them practice, I was like, man, like I want to be doing that right now, but I can't, you know. So that's what made me work harder, you know. Just I was like, wow, like I want to be out there competing with my boys, you know, just going through the ups and downs with them, you know, like that's what I want to be doing right now, you know. But I couldn't. So, but yeah, it was a great feeling. It was an emotional feeling, because I was like, wow, like I really worked these past 7-8 months to get back to where I want, and I did it. You know, like I could say that I did it. Like, you know, and if there's anybody out there, you know, that thinks they can't, like you can do this. You know, yeah, you're gonna go through the ups and downs personally, because like I said, you're gonna, you know, doubt yourself and say, no, I can't do this, but this you can. There's always a way.
Right.
You know, if you just gotta put heart and, you know, have a great support system around you, and at the end of the day, you can. Nothing's impossible. You know, there's always ways you can, you know,
you can
better,
do it.
You can do it, and you know, better yourself out, you know, after it too, you know. So
that's an awesome message. So going off of that, man, so what was your first season actually being able to play the whole season like?
Oh man, it was amazing. I guess you could say, like, you know, I had a little PTSD, you know, because I was like, man, like, what if this happens again? Like, what if I do this and that happens again? And like, it was just like,
it's totally normal though.
Yeah, it was normal, but like my mental state was just like, Rick, don't do that because you're gonna hurt it again, or don't do this because, you know, something's gonna happen, you know. So it was just like one of those. You were like too precautious about everything. Exactly. I was like, oh man, I hope this guy doesn't bunt again, because if I had to go run for it, this is what happened last time, you know. Like, so I really feel like taking care of your mental is I feel like better than taking care of your body, honestly, because up here is what controls all this, you know. Up here was what controls your body. So I'm really a firm believer in, you know, taking care of your mental and because the mind's a powerful thing. It can make you say, do stuff that you're just like, what the heck, why, So, but yeah, so getting back on that mound, my first game back was nervous. I was nervous, but at the same time, I was like, this is what I did all this to get back here. So just go up there and dominate, Rick. Like, just go up there and dominate, because this is what you did to get back to where you want to be. So my first game back was just amazing. And
how'd you do that game?
I think I had like a walk and like a hit, and I gave up like a run, and I had 2 strikeouts. Oh, but that that first strikeout was like, damn.
It took a lot of weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, I was like, damn, like I haven't felt that in like 8 months, like.
Nah, probably longer, honestly, right? Like a year, but like 10 months, right?
Actually, yeah, about 10 months, actually, yeah, because
you said you had to wait 2 months.
Yeah, you're right. So I was like, wow, like almost a year that I had to wait to feel that satisfaction again, and that felt so good. And then I came off the mound. I remember I came off the mound. I was like, yeah, pumped, everybody was like, yeah, like,
because everyone knew what you went through.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody knew the process I had to go through, and so that was, my teammates, lifting me up, being happy for me, and just being happy for myself, because I was like, wow, like I'm really doing this again. So, and throughout the season, I was kind of got over it, the fear of it happening again. So I just went out there and just was just me. I was just being me, like nothing ever happened, and just competing, with my team. And so
that's good, man.
Yeah.
So now you're in your sophomore season, and I mean, season's still kind of early. We're not even really through the halfway point, but you're having a pretty good season so far. You pitched some pretty good games. You pitched a pretty good game against Taft. Pitched a pretty good game against Barstow too. So you've had some pretty good outings. And what I wanted to ask you was, what's your goal after the season? Like the 4-year level is what you're considering after this, or?
Yeah, honestly, I'm weighing my options right now, because like I really love the game of baseball. I really do. And I just want to see how I do this year and see where I'm at, honestly. But that's what I want. Like, ultimately, that's what I want to do. I want to continue my career somewhere else, and give them my 100%, and compete with them, and win, and basically create a new family like I have with you guys here. And so that's what I really want, just to go out there and just keep competing,
keep having fun, playing the game you love
to the highest level as I can, So that's what I really see in my future. So that's
what's up, man. That's good. So I mean, I don't really have any more questions for you that I have off my head, because I didn't really want to write down anything and read off anything, but. Anyways, what I want to ask, I know you already gave a lot of tips to the younger guys that might be listening to this, but you got any other specific tips that you might want to give to somebody out there that might be listening or watching this?
Just honestly, what I've taken out of my baseball career is just to be you. Just be you. Doesn't matter who says what, who doubts you, and who wants to bring you down. Just be you. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody says, because at the end of the day, you're still gonna be you, and they're not gonna change you. Like, so honestly, that's my message. Just be you. And
be yourself and enjoy the game.
Be yourself and enjoy the game, and don't let anybody bring you down. Because if you let that happen,
that's when you lose.
That's when they win and you lose. Exactly. So, never let somebody else feel that satisfaction of them. Oh, I was right, because this guy was never gonna go anywhere. So that's honestly my message, is to always just be you, and never let somebody bring you down, because at the end of the day, it's your life, and you're gonna do what you want with it, and so just be a better you every day.
Would you also say to not take things for granted? For example,
I would.
Like what happened with you, man?
Yeah, I would honestly say don't take things for granted, because in the blink of an eye, your whole life career, whatever you may be, doesn't have to be baseball, could change in an instant. Because that's what I felt. And my whole career changed in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but at the end of the day, it was life changing for me, and I became a better person
at the end of the day because of it.
At the end of the day, because of it. So, but yeah, so my whole career has just been a humbling and privileged experience, because not many people get to, play baseball or play a sport. So it's
especially at the college level.
Exactly. So it's really a humbling experience, and I don't take it for granted. And this is something I always that'll be with me for the rest of my life. And yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on today for the West Coast Ballers. I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this, man. I wish you nothing but the best of luck, this season. I'm going to be alongside of you watching everything. And, I wish you nothing but the best of luck for outside of the season, too, outside of whatever may happen after this. I wish you the best of luck, man.
Thank you. I wish you the best of luck, too.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, with that being said, guys, this will be the end of the episode for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.